Welcome to the Whatnauts, a pop culture variety podcast all about the media we love and so much more. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, hi, hello. Welcome
Hi.
to episode 1 of the Whatnauts.
Yes. Yes, we have been podcasting together for about 8 years now, but this is the launch of a rebrand and a compressed podcast. We used to have a few different shows, and we realized these aren't that different from each other. Why don't we just consolidate into a single podcast feed that's just going to have multiple segments in one episode?
Smash them all into a big old burrito.
Right. Instead of ordering 3 individual tacos, instead of getting the taco platter, this is the burrito era, is how I described it to you. Yeah. Same content, just in one container now.
Quick thoughts on the little opening, the pop culture variety podcast where we discuss the media we love.
I like
more.
It.
Yeah, good.
Very snazzy. A
short,
good way to
simple.
Try to encapsulate what it is we do here. Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff. That like we can always workshop that stuff down the road if we need to or adapt it. But I thought that was a good, short and sweet way to kind of encapsulate everything there. Cool. Yeah, I think we'll have a pretty good first episode here. I think it'll be a good microcosm of things to come down the road on this podcast, which should be fun. Melissa, first thing I want to ask, how was your holidays?
They were fine. One thing I did, I went to St. Charles Main Street Holiday Traditions with my sister-in-law and my 9-year-old niece. This is a very cute, old school, historic Main Street, cobblestones and everything.
Nice.
And they have a holiday fair where it's not just decorations and street vendors and performances. They have characters. They have a whole cast of the characters of Christmas walking around doing bits, and you can interact with
the
them.
Characters of Christmas. Good old
and
Frank, the character from Christmas.
You can collect trading cards. So I'm going to read you some of these trading cards. Okay. We have the chimney sweeps. We have the mistletoe misses. We have Santa Lucia. They've got like historical and cultural representations. There's what Christmas means in Chile. There's what Christmas means in Germany or in France, all over the place. You can talk to Judah Maccabee about Hanukkah. Just learn some Hanukkah facts. Wow. It's educational. It's funny. And the fact that they introduced trading cards really gamifies it. My niece loved these things. That's awesome. Kids were super into collecting the Christmas trading cards. And I did too, as you can see. So it's a bunch of kids going up to these characters and then one 35-year-old aunt who also insists on playing along.
Great. I love it. That sounds like a blast. I had my parents come into town, so I got to host them, got to cook for them. They tried to come in like 2 years ago, and halfway on the trip, my mom fell and like broke her arm or something and had to like go all the way back. So it didn't work. So they finally came out and we had a blast. We watched a number of movies, but we got to see 2 in theaters. Got to see Anaconda, which is so stupid and so dumb, but I loved it. It was a great time. And then we saw Marty Supreme, which we might talk a little bit more about in a little bit here. But that one, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I loved how chaotic it was. So that was a great time. And then we went to the Cowboy Museum here in OKC.
Oh, yes.
Melissa, if you are ever back here in OKC, go to the Cowboy Museum. It is incredible.
Yes.
You're about to say something?
No, my parents have been through Oklahoma City, and they raved to me about the Cowboy Museum.
Yeah.
But the one time I went to visit was the first time you and I had ever hung out in person. And I'm like, I don't want our first interactions live in the same room as each other, being walking quietly and respectfully around a museum reading plaques. Like, that just wasn't the vibe. But now that we've hung out a few times in real life, I do want to go back to Oklahoma City and just do museums. You have a beautiful set of museums I want to explore.
Yeah. I was very surprised by this museum. I didn't think it would be as big as it was. I was kind of thinking it'd be a smaller museum. No, this place is big. It is large. They have like two sides of their museum and an outdoor section, which I did not get to experience the outdoor section because it was kind of cold the day that we went. But yeah, lots of great art, both old and new. There's a bunch of Native American art in there as well, though we do also have a First Americans Museum, which goes more in depth into all of that too. But I saw this like really cool, like hand Darth Vader helmet that someone had made like 2 years ago. It was gorgeous.
Wow.
It was beautiful. And I also got to see some really ginormous paintings, Melissa. I know you got to see some a handful of months ago. These were nowhere near as big as the ones you saw. These were still like 2 stories tall, and they were triptychs. It was 4 triptychs. No, 5 triptychs. And
a total of 15 paintings.
Yes. Yeah, and gotcha. I think the receptionist said, like, these triptychs are the biggest triptychs in the country. So, yeah, like 2 stories tall, just huge things. They were in, like, if you've been to, like, a big conference for work or something, and they have that, like, ginormous ballroom where, you know, it can seat, like, 500 people, and they have a big stage up front. It was in that kind of room. So the room itself was also just huge and empty because there were no seats or anything. So it was just like, go in and check these ginormous paintings out.
And you know, it was fun. There's nothing I love more than being in a very large room.
Indeed.
I want to be small in a big room. I'm going to go.
Cool. Well, let's dive into all of the stuff that we got planned for our first episode here. I'm glad we're finally kicking things off. I've been excited to launch this new podcast. I think we kind of need to start for our previously on section. I think that's a great place to start. So to preface this, obviously this is episode 1.
It is a preface.
The Whatnauts, right? You can start here. You don't need to go back and listen to the decade of podcasts that we had been making. But we do have a decade of podcasts. Melissa, you said that you've been here for the past 8 years. I was doing this a little bit longer than that here at the Whatnauts. You don't need to go back and do all of that stuff and find all that.
Absolutely not.
But we thought it'd be fun to be like, hey, because there is kind of a rapport here, why not catch people up on everything that we've done here? Just a quick, I'm not sure how long this will take, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, who knows? But yeah, previously on The Whatnauts.
The Whatnauts was a podcast project that you started with your old buddy Paul. You released your first episode on January 2nd, 2016. When you started it, every week it was you and Paul talking about a new piece of media. It was like an audio book club, a way for the two of you to keep in touch. And every week you would talk about something, a tangible something, like a movie, a season of a TV show, the first 2 volumes of a comic series, season 1 of an audio fiction podcast, something like that. Something tangible and were you not just a general wide-reaching topic like this week it's just Game of Thrones, just like all of Game of Thrones, the whole concept of it, just anything we want to talk about. No, it's very direct.
I'll
and
stop
at the end
you right
of each
there
episode,
for a quick second, because it did not start out as structured as that. Our initial idea was
that is true.
much more inspired by like Radio Lab and Jay and Miles Explain the X-Men, where we would argue some kind of topic. We would make it up, or it would be like, how do you want to do a Daredevil movie or something like that? And Paul would take one side and I would take the other side. We would record our conversation / argument on that. And then we would kind of doctor it up a little bit, cut bits and pieces that we thought worked well, and we'd kind of make a script almost. And then we would come back for a second time to record in like current day to then like guide the listener through our conversation, since we weren't doing like investigative journalism like Radio Lab, but how they'll interview someone and be like, and we talked to Sarah, and Sarah made a really good point where she said, and it would like fade into the clip of Sarah talking, right? Or who knows what. So it was kind of like that, where I'd be like, Paul, now I think you're an absolute idiot, but you had a good point here on this one thing you said, and then it would start to fade into what Paul had said there. So it was much more highly edited, highly produced, and immediately we were like, "Oh, this won't work. Like this is not going to work. We need like a tangible thing to talk about here."
So that's where I enter the podcast. I stumble across you two as a listener because you did an episode talking about the audio fiction podcast Wolf 359, and I saw them like retweet your post about this episode. So I listened to you two talk about that. And then I went through and listened to a few other episodes of you talking about things I knew. And you guys did a live stream that I tuned into, and we started talking like
we
in the live
excited.
Stream chat. Right. A listener. Wow.
Yeah.
And
one
then,
person.
In like 2018, Paul decides to step down, depart for another opportunity. Best of luck to Paul wherever he is now. And you said, I'm going to take this opportunity to retool the show. It had been continuing in the weekly book club style format. And then also you had started doing the Captain's Log episodes, which were you and Paul saying, now our entire friendship has become a book club. We need a space to talk about other things.
Yeah, let's just actually catch up as people. Yeah.
Yes. The Captain's Log was the off-topic chat show. So you had these two shows kind of alternating in your feed. And you said, I'm going to take the opportunity, kind of retool the show. If any listeners want to apply to come on and do a guest episode while I kind of figure out the new direction, you're welcome to. So I did. And then I have stuck around for 8 years.
Yep,
just
I
not gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And you had a few other people who would come on and like do a few episodes. Eric, Jess, all of these figures of Whatnauts past.
Shout out to all of them. They were big help. Yeah.
Yeah. I have been here since April 2018. And at that point, you had rebrand. The Whatnauts became the name of the network, your little insular self-contained network. And your flagship show was now called The Review Show. And you and I did the review show together week after week for a long, long time, where at the end of every episode, we would take turns pitching the other person. Here's 3 things to pick from. The other person would pick something. The next week we would do that thing. Then the other person would pitch 3 things, and back and forth, back and forth.
Right.
And then after a few years, we're like, this is a lot. Let's scale back and just do it every other week. You also made the Captain's Log its own individual feed. And we did that every week as well. Off-topic nonsense chat show every week. And then you also had a feed called The Reactor Core, which is where we talked about the hot brand new things. So review show was like book club. We're picking some piece of media from who knows when. Captain's Log, what's going on in our lives? What have we been watching lately? Reactor Core, you described it as being for spoiler casts of, we're here to talk about the hot new Marvel movie, the weekend it comes out. That one was tied to a specific timeline. The other shows were, we talk about it when we find time to watch it in our own lives.
Right. Yeah.
after a while, you also started a side show called Crossplay that was all about video games.
Yeah.
And you had a few friends join you for that. There was Alan and Gino and Ignacio. And you would drag me on. And Mick, right. And you would drag me on once or twice as somebody who knows zero about video games, just to lob ideas off me.
Yeah.
Like, make blind predictions about what's going to happen at E3 this year. And I'm like, I don't know. Mario again? I don't know these.
Thank you for your service, Melissa. You're an incredible magic 8-ball.
Right. So you treated me like a magic 8-ball, just making blind predictions. And then I brought on a literal magic 8-ball, and I was competing against the toy to see which one of us would be more correct.
Yeah.
My
idea for the Whatnauts for a bit there was to expand it so that we would have a comic book show, a video game show, maybe an anime show, or some kind of watch along podcast to some Gundam show or something. I don't know. But the idea was to get other people to host those shows, because if we all pool our resources and stuff like that, it's cheaper to have a website that we can host everything on, right? Instead of all these other people trying to host their own websites, we can kind of just pool resources and stuff like that. But that way, I could kind of take a back seat and just hop on to whatever podcast I wanted to that week. Be like, you know what? I want to talk about video games this week. And I would go on Crossplay and stuff like that. That never truly happened. I did get Gino hosting Crossplay, but never really fully it's like, okay, now I'm kind of leaving the show on my own and you guys do that show. So did not work out like I had hoped, but I think that is A-okay. I'm still super happy with everything that we made.
Right. Who else can say they have spearheaded 5 different podcast projects and seen them through to fruition? Like, even Crossplay, which is our shortest show, still ran for 100 episodes. Yeah. It is something to be proud of that you, A, did not just have these ideas and do nothing with them, or B, start it, do 6 episodes, and then stop doing it.
Yeah. I'm an all or nothing kind of person. Because I certainly do have ideas for things in my head that I have done nothing with.
Exactly. We are champions of follow through here. 8 years and counting. And then we also had a Patreon, and we started a Patreon specific podcast that does still run today called The Pilots Club, where every month you and I watch a TV show pilot, the first episode of a TV show. Tremendous variety there. Last year we called it the Year of the Detective, and every month we picked a new kind of detective show. We might do a theme year again. And that's a show that is Patreon exclusive. Patreon first is how you describe it. Because after 2 years, they will get introduced to a free feed. But we had all these different shows. Even after Crossplay ended, it was still reduced to the review show and the Captain's Log and the Reactor Core. And I'm like, Kyle, this is still you and me having kind of the same type of conversation. Why does this need to be so many separate feeds? Could we consolidate? Could we just do one podcast? Take it back to the old school. It's just called The Whatnauts. Return to the original name that you and Paul had. And it is truly a whatnot mishmash of different things in each episode instead of the different feeds. So that's where we are today. We are still going to do our review show. We're not going to do it as regularly. This show, this new Whatnauts, is going to balance that sort of structured, intentional book club type of content, but maybe once a month, maybe 8 to 10 times a year, something like that, because there's so much other stuff we're watching.
Yeah, the way we have it set up is that on our little Google spreadsheet calendar thing that we have 6 slots that are specifically we will be reviewing something around this time.
We declare, yes.
And those are set and scheduled. We will at least have 6 of them. We don't know what we'll be reviewing yet, but we do know the first thing we will review, which we'll talk about later on. But we're also going to be doing episodes scheduled episodes every other week. So after this one is out 2 weeks down the road, we'll come out with a new one. But that gives us space to sprinkle in other episodes whenever we deem fit. Outside of those 6 things that we will review, we might be like, hey, there was this new movie, Crime 101, which is out in February. We might want to do a review on that because we both watched it and something like that. And that might not fall on a regular podcast episode week. So we might just be like, hey, let's just record something. Let's just have fun,
Right. We might save things like we'll talk about it in 2 weeks, or we might say, I have some scheduling things coming up. Let's do an episode back to back one weekend and then the next weekend, and then we're off for another 2 weeks. We are pretty regimented. We're pretty scheduled. We've never taken a hiatus beyond just being gone for 3 weeks around the holidays.
Yeah.
We keep up with it for sure. So we will never be gone for very long. We're going to talk about brand new things. There might be something both of us go to the movies and see, or a TV show we're both tuning into. We'll talk about our individual pursuits, and we will both come together and point at some older thing and say, let's both go back and watch that, talk about it together, our book club part of our show. Yeah. We keep saying book club. We've only ever read 2 books. It's mostly
it's a book club style podcast. Is
book club
how
style.
I always describe it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. On the review show, I explained how it worked, the structure of it, but certain themes emerged. We talked about truly a wild variety of things: movies, TV shows, comics, those 2 novels, audio fiction, podcasts, a lot of genres, a lot of time periods, lots of international content, things that were old, things that were brand new. One of our traditions is that September was Shame-tember. For the past few years, we did Shame-tember, where you and I had to pick movies that were on our list of shame, like, Kyle, how have you never seen The Godfather? Melissa, how have you never seen Titanic? Sometimes it was these big cultural things, and other times it was really specific to us. I'm like, it's weird. I've never seen Looney Tunes Back in Action. It's not weird if a normal person has never seen that movie, but for me, why have I, for my taste, why have I never done it? Is it worthwhile? I don't know. We don't know until we watch it and make ourselves have a 90-minute conversation about it. We did bingo sheets. We would create a bingo sheet of different narrative storytelling tropes at the beginning of the year and see if we could cross them off as the year went on. See who got the most bingos. We're doing the bingo sheets again this year, but we're going to do it for anything that you and I talk about together, new or old, correct?
Yeah, let me pull these up on screen. So here's our bingo cards on screen for everyone who's watching the video version of this. Those 6 slots that I mentioned, like, hey, we are reviewing some things this year. Those are definitely on the table for what can be on the bingo cards. As well as any of the hey, Supergirl just came out and we both watched it in theaters opening weekend, or there's the new season of Yellow Jackets or Severance came out and we both are watching it at the same time.
It's anything that you and I are both watching and talking about at the same time this year. Like, if I catch up to a movie that you saw 5 years ago, I don't think that content goes on the bingo sheet. Nope. It must be communal. New or old, it must be communal.
Yeah.
Do we want to go over some of the highlights, some of the things we're looking for on bingo this year?
Sure, yeah, just name a couple off of your card here, and I'll do the same.
Some new ones, because we have a big list of tropes that we add to create the bingo card. Some new ones I added this year are sadly staring out of a window at the rain, Chinese food containers because you've been working all night, drawing lines on a map to solve a mystery, taking off a hat to deliver bad news, a government agent saying you don't have jurisdiction here, a panicked woman screaming, "My baby!" And this is always exclusively a woman. It's never a father, and it's never a mother and a father. Right, the male is absent unless the baby is a boy. It is always a woman. I would love if it was a dad. Just a dad and a baby out today. My baby! It's always a woman. But we'll see. Maybe this will be tested this year. Another thing I'm tracking is when, like, let's say there's a TV show or a movie where there's a political campaign and some secret comes out about the politician and somebody in their office is like, the press is going to have a field day with this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That phrase. And it's a field day is always something that somebody else is having. It's not like then it cuts to the reporter and the reporter's like, I'm having a field day. A field day belongs to another
typing
person.
His article out.
Right. I'm tracking the concept of field day. I'm tracking what I call the gladiator shot, which is just a hand running through plants.
Classic, yep.
Last year, I decided to challenge myself and see if one specific character actor would appear in anything we watched on the review show last year. And I picked Shea Whigham.
Yeah.
Shea Whigham did not appear on the review show, though he was in two new movies we talked about last year, F1 and Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. I've determined that I'm not allowed to remove Shea Whigham until I see him. Which might be what I do going forward. If I pick a character actor, I am stuck with them until they appear, like some sort of curse. So Shea Whigham, please, I hope I see you this year. Kyle, what do you have on your bingo sheet?
So yeah, I grabbed a number of the new ones that you put on there, but I also have a number of classics. Yes. We have a photo of the president to kind of inform you what time period it is, right?
Photo of a president in a government office. That is a new one.
a red string conspiracy board, a chase or a fight scene that goes through a kitchen, poison, and this includes Belle Biv DeVoe, if that happens to be a thing.
If it's toxins or the song Poison is also that initiates the success mode where we can cross off that bingo square.
I don't have character actor Shea Whigham, but I do have any actor from Lost back on my bingo card. Yes,
we've done this before.
Yeah.
Oh, another new thing I have on my bingo sheet this year is a place one of us has been.
I saw that one, yeah.
Yes. So I am treating this as city or more specific. You know, if we watch something in the state of Texas and you and I have both been through Texas in the past, that's too general. It has to be like that episode of Hannibal where they're in Wolf Trap, Virginia. And you're like, I've been to Wolf Trap, Virginia.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, cool. Good stuff. I also have cut in half with a laser.
Great.
I have fuck it, we're doing it. Just like down the clown. Here we go. Who cares? Let's do
Ride
it.
Ride or die.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a good one. And then I have one that I continually go back to it's one that I call our quota. Thing where I say I want to see some object or something, and I have to pick a number of how many of them I see.
Yeah.
So this year I have picked motorcycles. I would like to see 3 motorcycles. They do not all have to appear in the same thing, but just over the course of this year, I need to see 3 motorcycles.
If there's one thing with one scene with 3 motorcycles in it, you could just cross that square off with a single movie.
I maybe technically could, but I'm going to count that as one thing.
It's 3 instances of motorcycles, not 3 motorcycles.
Yeah, or not the single movie that has 3 separate scenes where they're on a motorcycle. Like if what was that one with Austin Butler, the bike riders, or something like that? Right. Yeah. No, that's one motorcycle.
Right. You'd have to watch The Bike Riders and John Wick and Captain America.
Exactly.
3 different motorcycle films.
Exactly. So yeah, that's something that I have on my bingo card. This has always been a lot of fun, just a game to play in the background of things. So
we'll check in with bingo just about every episode this year, I suppose.
Periodically, at least. Might not be everyone, but still.
We watch a lot of different things. There are some recurring motifs we really like. We're both superhero people, superhero fans. We both love detective and crime fiction. We like sci-fi and time travel. I'm a big horror person. You are not. But I try and get you, if not horror, at least something weird. There's a type of movie we've described as being small weirds, or they're probably an indie movie, but like indie isn't quite the way to describe it. Sometimes it's by a major studio, but it's one of their lesser offerings, and it's small and it's weird. So you'll hear us refer to small weirds frequently. We like adults in the 1980s doing technical stuff. We watched all of 'Halt and Catch Fire, all of The Americans. We love the Netflix miniseries, The $1 Billion Code, which is about computer scientists in the 1980s building what would eventually become Google Maps.
Yep.
This is not your Stranger Things flavor of 80s. This is adults wearing suits, frowning at a computer. We love that. That's big here. And we love a subgenre I'm going to call women artists on the edge. This is the legacy through us watching Perfect Blue, Black Swan, Suspiria, Ingmar Bergman's Persona. I'm going to pull from this bucket again. We're going to come back to that theme.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Over here on the Captain's Log, this is still going to be mostly Captain's Log flavored. This new The Whatnauts podcast. We love Mountain Dew. We love talking about Mountain Dew. I think I've had a Mountain Dew Baja Blast twice ever in my life, and I've never had regular Mountain Dew, but I think it's funny.
Have you never had regular Mountain Dew?
I don't think so.
I don't think I knew that. Because it's such a normal soda. It's so ubiquitous. It's out there.
I don't drink a ton of soda, and when I do, I'm in like occasionally I'll take a cola, but mostly I'm in the Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb family of sodas.
Sure. Yeah.
Spicy browns is what I like. My mom
texted me something that apparently there's for like the 100th anniversary or something of Route 66. There's gonna be some kind of Oklahoma soda. Oklahoma Route 66 Centennial Soda launched. So I might try and get my hands on that soda at some point. Yeah.
I'll look too. You live in Oklahoma City and I live in St. Louis. So we're both in Route 66. So I will see what we get for the Route 66 Centennial as well.
Cool.
We haven't done it in a while, but we love to go to the Mountain Dew fan wiki and read about obscure limited edition Mountain Dews. We love to do taste tests. Every year we'll do some sort of food themed episode. One year we got a bunch of different flavors of Pocky. One year we got freeze dried astronaut ice cream. In honor of that, I have a new M&M I'm going to eat later.
Nice. What flavor is it?
We love to bring it is honey roasted peanut.
Interesting. Have you seen the PB&J ones?
I have, yeah.
I'm scared.
They're
I'm
fine.
scared
The
of those.
The PB&J Reese's are pretty good, and there's a strawberry variant and a grape variant. And the grape is like, it is full on grape jelly, and it works as well as a grape jelly PB&J works. It's no better and no worse. I love a novelty Reese's.
I was thinking about making or trying, because I don't know how well it would work, trying to make a PB&J cocktail. Because I've seen like peanut butter flavored whiskey, and then I could use like a strawberry syrup in with that, and it would be like a PBJ cocktail. But I don't know how well that would work.
You could do a boozy milkshake.
Yeah, indeed.
Who knows what food we'll talk about this year? We have what we each call our cinema corner. Where on episodes, we'll just recap the other one on, this is what I've been watching lately. We go to the movies a fair amount. I went to the movies literally 100 times last year. I counted.
Dang, nice.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's mostly what I do. I go to a lot of movies and a lot of live theater and comedy in museums. I'm big into the local art museum. We both love Formula One. Last year, you converted me into being very into Formula One.
Yes.
I'd never been a sport person before, but now I am.
We will have an all Formula One episode coming later in March to act as an introduction for whoever's out there, be a who's who, what's what. There's going to be some brand new rules and regulations. There's a brand new team out there. There's more drivers on the grid than there was last year. So there's some exciting stuff. I think this is a great year to jump on if you have been interested in Formula One, but don't know anything.
Right. If Kyle explained it to me, he can explain it to you. You can also jump on board. It's good fun. Every year we've done a trivia night for the last couple of years. Often our friend Ignacio will join us if he's able. He's a science person. He's literally a master of electrical engineering, and he'll force us to learn science questions. We're never good at it. Each of us writes 10 multiple choice questions and quizzes the other participants. In December, first week of December every year, I keep saying every year. These things are mostly like 5 years old, not a full 8 years old, but who cares? We do what we call the Rotten Tomatoes game, where we look at the films of the year to come, December to December. So the last time we did this game, we included December releases such as Avatar, Fire and Ash. And we're going to go up to the films that come out through the end of November 2026. We predict the Rotten Tomatoes critic score for these films, a big list of like 40 films. And then we see who was closest. Could be above, could be below, just closest. And you get a point. And we do other predictions for the year as well. Like, I think this movie is going to gross more than this other movie. Last year you said, I think all movies with animals in them are going to get a cumulative Rotten Tomatoes score of 800 or something like that. Or I'll pick a pop song and I'm like, I think this pop song is going to be in a movie next year. Right. Let's see if it appears. You know, who's going to be the cameo in this Marvel movie, etc. Sometimes we have my friend Jacqueline on to do a draft. We've drafted dads. We've drafted Candy. We've drafted actor and director best friends. And every October, we do a McRib Sterling. Buckle up. This started years ago when I said, let's do an episode where we take all of the silly little daily life anecdotes we tell each other throughout the year and retell them as scary stories. Let's do an Are You Afraid of the Dark Twilight Zone sort of thing. Yeah. And the host of the Twilight Zone telling you all these mysterious tales, that's Rod Serling. And we said, we have such a terrible discount version of it. His name's like Rib Sterling, and then he became McRib Sterling, and he became this figure, and he is the name of our Halloween episode every year where we tell these stupid, scary stories. And McRib Sterling is a Danny DeVito in a mech suit that looks like a Ronald McDonald in black and white, and he lives in a white void, and he smokes a French fry like he's a cigarette. And his lover / enemy is Bob Chili, manager of a Chili's in a void.
It's so strange.
That's the avatar of our Halloween episode. And you and I will dress up as something from the podcast. Last year, I was the mime from the M&Ms commercial.
Yeah. Hey, it's the birthday boy.
We're obsessed with... Let's invite Jacques. I was Jacques. So that's some of the stuff we talk about frequently. We're big Marvel nerds. We have a new Marvel segment we're going to talk about in a little bit. Here's us. We're both 35 years old. We love movies. We're both big nerds. I described you as a cyberpunk b-boy art kid. And I described myself as a vaporwave corporate busybody.
That sounds about right.
Would you say that those are true? Yeah.
Yeah.
I work
might add in, retired b-boy on my. I don't dance anymore.
B-boy. Yeah. You've not broken a dance in many a year. But it was very funny for me to learn that you used to do that in college.
Good stuff. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. We have a couple clips and stuff. We want to get into the lore of things, some of the inside jokes.
I picked 3 of my favorite stories / incidents from the history of the show. Number 1 is, would you like me to summarize this, or do you have the full clip to just play in its entirety?
So I have the purple clip and the Perry clip. That's it.
Okay, I'll tell the story of the third one then.
Okay.
Since we could not find what episode that happened in.
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put us over here, even though I don't have the internet up. There's multiple Melissas, and I'm going to open up the first clip. Bam, here we go. It should
with bed sheets, it's just like no one's going to see them. They're underneath the comforter. It's like the insides of a hot pocket.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember saying that at all.
They don't need to look good per se.
Mm-hmm.
But
they need to get the job done.
They need to get the job done, but they still need to be appetizing. And when you do bite into it, when you do open it up, it still needs to look decent enough.
Yeah.
So I was like, solid colors. That's what I want.
Serviceable.
Yeah.
Plain.
Next, I want a pair of. There I go again. A set of like dark purple.
Ooh,
that's what I want.
Mysterious. Yeah.
Purple's my favorite, so that is why.
Really?
Yes. It is.
I see you associated with purple so little.
Usually, yeah, I don't really wear anything purple. I don't really own anything purple.
Huh.
But I like, like deeper, darker purples.
Like an eggplant, an aubergine.
Yeah, because it's color of royalty, but it is a mix between red and blue, which is darker, it's more mysterious. Yeah, it's the color of royalty. Get over it.
You're laughing the exact same way as in the clip. It's great.
And saying just so factually, it's a mix of red and blue. Like you're giving a book report.
Well, Melissa, if you didn't know, it's a mix of red and blue. You didn't hear it from me, but apparently word on the street is It's a mix of red and blue.
The most basic fact, and you said it just so normally and seriously. This is how humans converse with each other, just regularly as adults. Purple, the
mix of red and blue. How do you not know this, Melissa? Come on. Thought this was common knowledge.
Thought this was common knowledge. Oh, that's great.
I'm laughing at how much you're laughing because you're like wiping away tears.
I can't stop. I would if I could. This is my curse.
Melissa, you are cursed. Cursed with the knowledge that red and blue make purple.
When you're a child and you learn about colors, somebody tells you purple is a mix of red and blue, and you never forget that. So
never forget.
Nobody ever needs to say it again. Adults never need to say that to each other. You were just saying a sentence like it was part of normal adult conversation. And I'm like, the only time I've ever heard that phrase is when I'm like 3 and my mom is telling me. And then I never needed to learn again. It's not like you forget. You have to be reminded.
Yeah.
Purple is made out of red plus blue.
And that for some reason just kind of stuck with us. That was episode 58 of the Captain's Log.
Wow.
Yeah, so real early on. You like
years and years ago.
I think you had been on a handful of episodes, but it wasn't until around episode 40-ish that it was really like, okay, it's me and Melissa. Like, we are the ones hosting the show. So even that was like, we had been doing it for like a handful of months where we just knew like this was us. Like, this is the show. So early on, man, red and blue make purple.
I'd love you to introduce our next clip. This is our most recent clip.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's still like 2 years old.
Yeah. We were doing a segment, I think, on our like cinema corner. I went back and it turns out I was talking about how busy March has been with stuff from TV shows starting to my job to March Madness, just like things were happening that month. And I mentioned that I had watched the second season of Perry Mason. And you were like, wait, hold up. You watched the first season? And I was like, yeah. It was fantastic.
The HBO drama Perry Mason starring Matthew Rhys, which I knew was based on an old, like 1950s and 60s black and white show called Perry Mason. Yeah. That was the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah. And so then this next clip ensued. Let me pull this back up on screen.
Sued.
Right, yeah. Open this one.
Season 2 of Perry Mason on HBO is coming out on the 6th. That's a great show.
You watched season 1 of Perry Mason?
I sure did. Yeah. It was phenomenal.
We haven't covered this.
No, we have not.
How is he?
It's incredible. If you want a good like time period or like period piece crime show, it's more of a detective show, even though he's not really a detective. Or at least this first case is him like getting to be in the position of him becoming the Perry Mason that people know. This is the first case that like got him the spotlight. He's a real person. You know that, right?
What?
Yes.
I thought he was like an old TV show, like a Matlock.
I think he's a real person. I could be wrong and just led everyone astray here. Good thing we have Google just blinking at me
to do this.
Just a blank stare on your face.
Fictional character.
Perry Mason's a fictional character. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, I've been lied to, Melissa.
My life is
the wildest minute of my life.
Oh, God.
You know, there's so many people who think Sherlock Holmes is a historical figure, that he really existed in, like, Victorian England. Like, not Sir Arthur Conan Doyle made him up. He is fictional.
Sherlock is totally fake, but Lupin, Arsene Lupin, that guy, 100% real.
Matlock is real. Murder, She Wrote. Real woman wrote real murders.
Gil Grissom is a real person. Okay?
Love it. Love it. That was a great one.
I was so... You said it so certainly.
Yeah.
Like...
I was so certain.
And I thought, well... I have no reason to believe Perry Mason isn't based on a real man. I guess that's true. Fun fact that I'm just hearing now for the first time. You know, you got to learn sometime. And then immediately, in seconds, you're like, oh, no, I was wrong. So I felt for like 20 seconds I entered another dimension and then got pulled right back again.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Like, there's the Mandela effect where some people live in the universe where it's Berenstain Bears instead of Berenstain Bears. Yep. And and there's the movie Shazam instead of Kazam and all of that. This is like a hyper-specific Mandela effect universe for only you and I. Where the extremely small difference that one time in the 1920s, there was a real lawyer that eventually inspired the TV show Perry Mason.
Diverging
instead of him being
timeline
a
for us, yeah.
creation. And I'm like, that still sounds so real. Like, I could say that to, like, people at work and convince them, like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It worked on me.
It worked on me, too, very briefly. The third story, we could not trace where this was deep in our history, but it's my...
So I tried to find the clip for this one. I was
Me
hoping
too.
you had the number, like you knew exactly where it was. But yeah, you were like, I don't know. So I tried searching on YouTube, like in on our back end. Unfortunately, YouTube only searches episode titles, not the like stuff that you put in the description.
I also my podcast app lets me search descriptions, and I could not find any of the key phrases that pertain to the story. So I think this is from way back when you wrote the episode descriptions, and you wrote like very, very brief episode descriptions.
Right. Yeah. It must have been early on, because in my email, I did find evidence of us referencing that story, but it was not the clip we were looking for. It was on a McRib Sterling episode. It was our third one, Season of the Witch. And we start sharing our stories, and I'm like, oh man, we should look up the episode numbers on all of these. And so we do. We start being like, this is from episode, 69. And I share a story, you share a story, I share a story, and then it goes back to you, and you're like, I don't know where this next one comes from. It was early on, and it was just like, I was like, oh no, Melissa. But I found that because I searched in my email for Globetrotters, and thankfully in the episode description of that Halloween episode, you mentioned Harlem Globetrotters in there. So that was like, it was just like the recurring problem of like, oh, we don't know what episode number it's in, but somewhere we told this story.
We're going to have to go back and do manual hard listening to find the story. It's existed since the dawn of time. And this is the story. Kyle, you're a little boy, a little Kyle. And
young lad.
Your dad, through like some work connection or something, gets very, very good near courtside seats to go see the Harlem Globetrotters do their fine sport at a local arena to you. So he takes you, Scott and Stacy, your beautiful parents, take little baby Kyle to the Harlem Globetrotters, and they treat him to a cotton candy. You're sitting there munching on your cotton candy. And then the Globetrotters, in one of their classic antics, one of them goes into the stands, and there is the guy walking around the sports arena with like the
get your cotton candy here.
with like the tree of cotton candies like clipped to the stick. And the Globetrotter, in one of his antics, grabs the stick and starts pulling off the bags of cotton candy and giving them to kids nearby in the audience. So you already have one cotton candy. The Globetrotter, seeing this, decides to continue and hand you a second cotton candy. And I applaud that man's choice. Our life is different if that Globetrotter thinks that kid's already got a cotton candy. He doesn't need a second one. But he gives you a second one. And then your parents are like, well, the Globetrotter gave it to him. Like, we can't take it away now. We can't tell him he can't have it now.
Right.
So you are just double fisting cotton candies now.
Amazing.
And it's the happiest image I can conjure. When Peter Pan is like, think of a happy thought and that'll make you fly. I picture little Kyle with a cotton candy in each hand and this mischievous grin, and your parents are like, we can't do anything. The Globetrotter gave it to him. We can't go against the Globetrotter.
Amazing. So good. Melissa, I have good news. 2026 is the 100-year anniversary of the Harlem Globetrotters, and they are coming to OKC in March.
Oh my God, I want to go.
They might be in St. Louis at some point. You'll have to look it up. I saw some ad that was like, they'll be in OKC in March. So I am going to do everything within my power to buy tickets to go back to the Harlem Globetrotters, and I will take a picture of myself with 2 cotton candies, even if I have to buy them myself. I will still just. They
won't give them to you as an adult.
Right?
Children only.
I have to at least take that picture, though, to be like, look what I did.
That will make me and your parents so happy.
It'll be great. Yeah. Even if I have to get someone else to take the picture of me, can you take a picture of me while I hold these 2 cotton candies?
You'll tell them the story and you will bring them such joy. It brings me such joy. I love to hear stories about little Kyle and your parents. They're so cute.
Yeah.
So, purple is a mix of red and blue. Perry Mason was a real man, and the 2 cotton candies are my 3 favorite little bits of Whatnauts lore. My 3 favorite things you've ever said.
Good stuff. Yeah, good things that have stuck with us. Good inside jokes. Stuff like that. There's so much. Even just looking for these clips this morning. I half of the stuff that I say on these podcasts I don't remember at all. It's so funny.
It's simply too dense. It's not to be remembered. But it really helped when like the COVID lockdown hit. We were sent into our homes. You've never looked back. You continue to have a work from home job, and you don't really go anywhere except the movie theater and the comic book store.
Yeah.
But I was a lot more extroverted, and that really was a struggle for me to just live entirely within the confines of this room for 18 months. The fact that we had already had this podcast going and that it had already been virtual, you and I had always done this like over Skype and then over Discord. This was the one thing in my life that remained the same. When lockdown hit, it was really a life preserver, and it was so much fun talking to you like 2 or 3 times a week. Oh. We got so silly because there was no like pop culture news to react to. So we're just doing like stupid thought experiments.
Desperate for anything, for any kind of content.
Right. I have such fond memories of our recording sessions during that time.
Yeah.
And it was cool to watch like the celebrity charity live streams that everybody was doing. People who are not used to having to do their own AV stuff at home. And I'm like, I have a better webcam than Meryl Streep does? Like, that was a little confidence boost too.
Yeah, absolutely. Wild
we
times.
We were ahead of the game.
Wild times.
Cool. Well, I think that pretty much catches everyone up on like
That's
previously
us.
on the Whatnauts, which is kind of wild to think about.
Send us your questions if you have any.
Yes. This would normally be the time in the podcast where I would say, hey, let's take a break for housekeeping. I don't have our new housekeeping video ready. Need to update all of that good stuff. So I'll do it the old fashioned way.
I just want to say that those feeds I mentioned earlier, the review show, the captain's log, the reactor core, even crossplay, these feeds still exist. You can go listen to them. They remain up. Check them out. Particularly at the end of every year, we would do an episode that first we called a retrospective and then we called it a Grand Prix. After you got into Formula One and explained to me that every race was a Grand Prix, and I'm like, I thought the Grand Prix was the big finale, like the Super Bowl. What do you mean a name that fancy is what they use all the
every time?
Yeah. I'm like, why? What makes a Grand Prix? Can this be a Grand Prix? So that's what we call our end of the year little celebratory episode where we eat pizza and read lists to each other. Check those out. For the finale of the review show, we did a big list episode where we name our top 10 movies and shows and favorite characters and favorite performances and all of the stuff from review show history. That's good insight.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, this is a brand new podcast feed, which means we need your help. If you are enjoying the show so far, if you want to help us grow and continue to make this show better, please go leave a kind rating and review on your podcasting app of choice, especially on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, stuff like that. Even if you don't want to write out a full review, you can just like rate the 5 stars. That would help us out a ton.
Great job.
I cannot
Purple is a
stress
mix of
that
red and blue
enough. Like, as silly as it sounds to say all of that, as like it's been like the past 20 years of podcasts, everyone says this, I'm not going to go do that. No, it seriously helps so much just to have ratings and reviews, stuff like that. So go do that. Go to our website, thewhatnauts.com. I fixed everything and straightened it all out, so our website is back up and it takes you straight to our Patreon page. So when you go to thewhatnauts.com, you can sign up to be a Patreon supporter. For as little as $3, you can get access to the Pilots Club, which we mentioned previously, where episodes remain exclusive for 2 whole years before they hit the free feeds. There's all kinds of other bonuses up on Patreon as well. There's audio podcasts, video podcasts up there. You can get exclusive feeds to get access to episodes early on Patreon. Something else that I think we need to mention a little bit more this year. We have a 7-day free trial at our $3 tier. So if you're unsure about Patreon, go get that free trial, and you can listen to some of the Pilots Club and stuff like that. You can go listen to The Year of the Detective because it's still exclusive on Patreon right now. So go do all of that.
And we do talk about old Perry Mason.
We sure do. Yeah. That's how we wrapped up The Year of the Detective. And last but not least on the Patreon, if you're not into subscription payments, you don't want to do that, there is an option on our Patreon to buy access to the Pilots Club for a one-time payment. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I think I'm going to say it's like $30, maybe $50. I should go look that up. But it is a one-time payment, and as new episodes come out, they will be added to your access to all of that stuff, but it won't charge you monthly. It's just a one-time thing. That's it. And it still helps us out. So yeah, that's kind of about it for housekeeping right now, except for the Pilots Club. The one you can get right now on Patreon is The Chair Company. We watched the first episode of The Chair Company, which is on HBO Max. This is Tim Robinson's new show. Melissa, have you finished the entire season? I know we both were like, we're going to keep watching this on our own time.
I've watched the next episode. I am going to finish it. I'm not a binger. Unless I am under a particular time crunch, like I'm going to talk to you next week and I know you're going to want to cover the entirety of something. If I'm not under a time crunch, I parse something out. I do not binge watch typically.
Yeah. So yeah, go check out our episode on the Chair Company. And then on the free version of the Pilots Club, we just released our episode on the sitcom Reboot, which was a Hulu original. The whole idea was that in the sitcom, they are rebooting an older sitcom in the history of that show.
Mm-hmm.
It is not to be confused with the computer animated show, also called Reboot, that I watched on Toonami when I was a kid. So yeah, go check out Reboot. That is available on the free feed of the Pilots Club. And
follow us for more millennial references like Reboot.
Right, yeah. And last but not least, I know we've mentioned we will be reviewing some stuff throughout the year here on the podcast. We know what will be our first review. I'm super excited to talk about this movie. We wanted to start with something easy, something simple, a short little movie that we could sink our teeth into. Melissa, you had an interesting kind of tradition of first movie I want to watch in the year. I want the title to be what you wish for.
I want it to have some sort of auspicious good fortune to it. Like last year, I thought, what's the first movie I should watch in this year? It should be something with meaning to it. I want it to be something I haven't seen before. I'm going to chart a new course for the new year. And I thought I would watch Jerry Maguire because I would like to be shown money. Watch Jerry Maguire for good fortune.
Yeah.
And this year I took the same thinking and I'm like, I'm single. What would I like to find in my life? A few good men. So I watched that. And I thought I would do the same thing with our first official review topic here on the Whatnauts. And there's a movie from the last couple years that you will love that I've heard very good things about, but that I haven't watched yet. And this is a movie called Perfect Days. And I'm like, isn't that what we all wish for? What we would all like to manifest? Perfect Days.
Yeah, I recently bought the Criterion collection of this. That's what I'm holding up on screen right now. This is a film by Wim Wenders. Just someone who I'm not familiar with their filmography. I still have yet to go check out some of the other things they have done. But yeah, I saw the trailer for this and went to go see this in theaters and absolutely fell in love with it. So I'm excited to open up my Criterion collection and dive into all the extra features and stuff like that. I think it'll be pretty neat to do all of that.
And this is a movie.
I think we were about to say the same thing.
Right. This is about a man that just cleans Japanese bathrooms. And it's just a meditative, calming, sort of light drama about finding peace in your everyday life through cleaning a bathroom, a public bathroom.
It's interesting because in the film, the main character is mostly dialogueless. He just really doesn't speak much. The other characters in the film, they speak, but it's also like they aren't guiding you through the film or anything like that. So when you interact with them, they speak, but it's kind of a mostly dialogueless thing. But it's such a fascinating movie that I really enjoyed. So yeah, I'm excited to dive in this one and to see what you think about it. So
looking forward to it.
Perfect Days. I don't know if this is streaming any place. I know you can rent it or buy it digitally or get the Criterion collection like I did to get all kinds of special features and stuff like that. Oh, my case is cracked. Womp womp.
Whoop.
But yeah, that is what we will be up to next episode, actually. The one in 2 weeks here. So be on the lookout for all of that. But that's it for housekeeping. So let's dive back into a few other things. Melissa,
I want to eat my M&Ms.
M&Ms,
I
go for it.
I initiate a taste test. Frequently, you will bring on like a novelty soda, the Mountain Dew Voodoo mystery flavor, and you try to guess it, and I try to help, even though I'm not tasting the soda. All I know is what you tell me it tastes like.
If you didn't know, Kyle, purple is a mix of red and blue.
Right. So you do sodas.
You
I
guys
mostly
are part
do
of the
candies
inside
and
joke.
cereals. Yeah. So I thought, let's crack open a year with a fun little taste test. I have honey roasted peanut M&Ms peanuts. Let's take a look. They're just yellow and brown.
Yellow and brown. Okay.
Here's my color assortment.
One is honey and one is roasted. Melissa's shaking her head approvingly, or nodding her head approvingly.
I like it. It's got, I guess it's honey roasted. I do like it. There's something a little yeasty about it, like the way a brewery smells. It doesn't taste like a beer, but it tastes like the smell of beer from afar.
Now, are these honey roasted peanuts, or is it just like honey roasted in general, of like that kind of flavoring?
There's ingredients, but not a description.
Yeah.
I'll bite one in half.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. That looked like it was more difficult than it needed to be.
I don't have good teeth dexterity. I chew.
Your eye teeth coordination is not what it needs to be.
I don't need to chew precisely. I don't have experience with that. I'm gonna pry the peanut out of the M&M.
So there
I
is
guess
a
it's browner
peanut.
than a normal peanut. Yes.
Is it an almond? Like honey roasted almonds?
No, it's a peanut.
Yeah. Okay.
I said peanut like 5 times. It's not an almond.
I've been trying to figure out if it's a peanut, and you hadn't said anything yet.
It says, you can see it. It says peanut, and peanuts on it. The yellow peanut M&M, our best friend, voiced by Academy Award winner J.K. Simmons. To this day,
it's
a honey
roasted. Taste like J.K. Simmons?
Oh, I don't know. Haven't had the pleasure. Can't tell you. I would love like his custom mix. How celebrities will do like their special McDonald's order. I want an M&M's combo bag that are the distinct specific favorites of J.K. Simmons and Billy West, voice of the yellow and red M&Ms respectively. Yeah. I hope they continue to engage with M&Ms as a product. Like, I hope every time Billy West does an M&Ms commercial, they mail him the M&Ms and he tries them.
Just to put you back into character, here's a bag of M&Ms.
You are what you eat. So eat the red M&Ms. They're only allowed to eat red or yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, he has it in his contract. I only eat red M&Ms because that's me.
I am that. That is me.
Send all the yellow ones to J.K. Simmons. Here's
we
his
talk
address.
about M&Ms a lot here. Kyle, question for you.
Yes.
You got some new ink. Is that real ink or like a temporary tattoo fun gift?
These are new. Real ink, real new tattoos on my fingers, on my knuckles. Decided to get them in the new year. I've been wanting to get something like this for a long time. Hi, Mom and Dad. I haven't told you about these yet. Congratulations. Your son has more tattoos. It's just little small symbols across my fingers. The only real ones that have any kind of meaning, I have the Scorpio symbol on my left pointer finger, and then I have the letter K on my right pointer. Because Melissa,
that's you.
If you didn't know, my name starts with K. Yeah. And then the rest, I have like a sun and moon. I have a little dagger. I have a little alien and some arrows.
Cool.
But they are still healing right now. They're a little bit itchy. I've been putting lotion on them and stuff like that. So yeah, new tattoos to start the year.
I have a new hat.
You do 143-1. Is that some kind of aspect ratio?
Yes.
Yeah,
this is the aspect ratio of an IMAX film screen. My roommate got me this hat after I took her to go see Avatar: Fire and Ash and spent the whole drive there explaining the different film formats it would appear in. So she listened and remembered well enough to think to get me this for Christmas, and I really love it.
Awesome. That's good.
This year, I'm planning a road trip to Indianapolis because they have a 70 millimeter film IMAX screen, and we're going to go see The Odyssey.
That'll be fun.
Here in St. Louis, we only have a digital IMAX screen. We got to see the film.
Yeah. That's awesome. That should be fun. Real fun. Speaking of movies, do we want to jump back up to our Cinema Corner stuff?
Yeah.
I already mentioned Anaconda and Marty Supreme. I'm assuming you've seen Marty Supreme as well.
Yes. Yes.
What did you think of Marty Supreme?
It's my second favorite film of the year. I do have a whole list of movies that I can read you whenever you're ready for my list of movies of 2025.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's get to it. I see a ton of movies, and every New Year's Eve, I make a list of what my favorites were. So let's get started. Let me find where in my note it is. All right, these are my top 10 new movies of 2025. Starting with number 1, Sinners. Number 2, Marty Supreme. Loved the chaos. Really high on that. I love when the bathtub falls through the floor.
Yeah.
Number 3, Weapons. You're a horror baby and haven't seen it yet, but I keep telling you you'd like it.
I was hoping to have had watched it before this episode, but I did not get to it.
That's okay. Number 4, One Battle After Another. I am a big PTA head, but there were just a few other movies that surpassed his offering this year. Still love One Battle After Another. Excited to see it sweep at all of these Oscars. But I love the Sinners feels particularly groundbreaking. I love the chaos of Marty Supreme and Weapons. And that's what edges it out after One Battle. A film that is quite excellent, but does not, even though it's about revolutionaries, the film itself is not revolutionary. It's just a very, very well-made film. Number 5, Black Bag. The Steven Soderbergh spy drama. I just had a wonderful time with that one. Goes down smooth. That's a real comfort watch. I've already rewatched it since I first saw it. Can see myself doing that again. Number 6, Train Dreams. This is a new movie on Netflix. This one I did not get to see in the theater. Joel Edgerton plays a turn-of-the-century logger, and he's sad in the wilderness for like 2 hours. It's beautiful. I loved it.
Cool.
Number 7, 28 Years Later, another very rowdy pick. Number 8, Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice, a top-notch black comedy. Looks gorgeous.
Jealous.
You should see it. Please seek it out. I think it's expanding. You might be able to catch it in a theater right now.
Cool.
Number 9, Warfare. A movie that I really admired on a technical level. Like, I can't see myself really watching Warfare again. It is a tough watch, but the ways in which it is a tough watch are so impressive, and it has really stuck with me. And the fact that everything you see on screen in Warfare is constructed from the real memories of the co-director and his teammates during that real mission that inspired it. Like little details like how the light comes through a curtain in a room really affected me, because I'm like, I know I am only seeing this on screen now because somebody saw it in real life and something about it affected them and they remembered it like 15 years later and it got on the movie for me to see. It was like this weird out of body experience watching Warfare. Like I'm really living in somebody else's head during that movie. And that was just a unique experience that I rarely get in another film. So tough sit, difficult to recommend, but like
for sure,
an admirable achievement, Warfare. And then number 10, just a solid fun time at the movies, the F1 movie. Like not really except for on a technical level with like the cinematography. It's not really doing anything new. It's a pretty paint by numbers sports drama, but it's good at painting those numbers.
Yeah.
It's fun. My honorable mentions were the new Mission Impossible movie, a movie that had really high highs. I love the Mission Impossible movies. Even a lesser offering of that franchise is still a good time for me. But there's so many baffling choices in that film. So many ways in which it really did not hang together.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to strike a balance. You get top of the honorable mention list. How about that?
Cool.
For all the ways in which I loved and struggled with that film. Superman. I had a really good time with Superman. And I think I love the Guardians of the Galaxy films so much. And I think I just had very, very high expectations for Superman. I will probably rewatch that film and like grow to like it more than I have. You came to St. Louis to visit me this past summer. James Gunn is from St. Louis. I took you to see Superman in James Gunn's childhood movie theater.
Yeah, which is kind of wild.
Yes. And my other honorable mentions, The Life of Chuck and The Naked Gun. Two very different films.
Good stuff. I can name my top 10 films if you want. I don't have them listed out as in like what order they're in, but I have
no need.
10 new ones that I can do them in order that I saw them. So we got Sinners. Love that one. And incredible. Thunderbolts, asterisk.
Oh, yeah.
I rewatched that one with my parents while they were here visiting. That one was a lot of fun. Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Friendship, the Tim Robinson, Paul Rudd. I loved that one. K-pop Demon Hunters. Love it.
I still haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's incredible. Great stuff. F1, the movie, that was also incredible. Let's see here. Caught Stealing. I really enjoyed that one. It was a lot of fun. I think I saw
credits. The end credits of Caught Stealing are one of my film highlights of the year, where the end credits keep changing positions and directions and they keep jumping at you. I've never seen credits do that. I loved that.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. One battle after another. I agree with what you said. It's a really, really well-made film. That was an incredible watch. Predator Badlands, which surprised me a lot. I really enjoyed that one. And then last but not least, Marty Supreme. Those are 10 new films that came out last year that I really enjoyed. So I'll let you get back to your numbers.
I also have my list of my top 10 movies that were new to me, older movies that I watched for the first time last year. Cool. Number 1, I have Steven Spielberg's AI, Artificial Intelligence, a movie I watched twice and still found so much in it. I can see myself watching it again and again and always finding something new. Number 2, the Coen brothers' Hudsucker Proxy, a very Melissa movie. It is a weird living cartoon, but also it's in a big business boardroom. That's all my stuff. Number 3, American Psycho. really related to American Psycho as somebody who's found herself growing up to be a weird little yuppie who's like, I must get into all the city's top restaurants. I need the clout of being able to say I've been there. I'm obsessed with what my business card looks like. Number 4, Denis Villeneuve's Prisoners. You would love Prisoners. I'm going to make you watch Prisoners this year.
Okay. Cool.
Number 5, Robert Altman's Nashville. Number 6, the Coen brothers again with Inside Llewyn Davis. I watched a lot of Coen brothers movies last year for the Blank Check miniseries. I permitted myself only 2 to appear on this list. I'm like, I can't have more than that. So I picked Hudsucker and Llewyn. Number 7, Martin Scorsese's After Hours. Number 8, The Swimmer, which is a weird booze-soaked nightmare of a movie from the 1960s where like Burt Lancaster is some drunk socialite who like crashes at a friend's house after a big party, and he's like swimming in their pool the next morning, and he realizes on his route home is a stretch of a bunch of other backyard pools of like friends and neighbors and acquaintances, and he's like, I'm gonna swim my way home. I'm just gonna hop from pool to pool to pool until I get home. It's got a real sense of unreality to it, to the point where I'm like, are any of these people he's encountering even real people? Has he manifested them? Are they a fragment of his own mind? Very strange old picture. Number 9, David Lynch's Lost Highway. And number 10, something called The Timekeepers of Eternity. This is I told you about this one. This is a project where an artist, I forget the artist's name off the top of my head. My apologies. Let's see if I can Google it. The Timekeepers of Eternity is a 2021 film by Aristoteles Maragkos, and he took the 90s TV miniseries The Langoliers, printed out the individual frames of this miniseries onto paper, and reanimated the story. Took this miniseries that's like 6 hours long, compressed it into like 100-minute story, and he retold it by taking the paper printouts of the frames and animating those by like cutting them out and tearing them and ripping them and like layering them over each other. And it's like watching a living collage.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like this. It is jaw-dropping.
That's cool.
I think it might exist in like a weird copyright gray area because of the nature of the project. I don't know where you can watch it, but if you have the opportunity, please watch The Timekeepers of Eternity. It's just stunning.
Cool. Good stuff. Any other kind of numbers or lists you got there?
I said a lot of things. I have not written all of them down yet. I have a few of my top scenes in cinema. Did you see the movie Jay Kelly?
No.
Jay Kelly is a movie on Netflix where George Clooney plays essentially a George Clooney. He plays this mega movie star. And in the movie, he's going to accept a Lifetime Achievement Award, and he's thinking back on his career. And he's got these 2 daughters, one he's estranged from and another one who he's closer to, but she's going away to college. And he's like, why isn't the older one closer to me? How do I keep the younger one as close to me as she has been? Why is my family so torn apart? How do I bring it back together? What does this have to do with my career? What am I doing to my agent, my manager, and my whole entourage who follows me around? Like, I pay them well because I'm a movie star and I have all this money, but am I actually good for them? Am I too chaotic of a person to be around? In this movie, he is a flashback to when he was in acting school, and he had a friend who was going in for an audition, and he was just around his friend for moral support. Like, the other friend was definitely, really could have been something big until Jay Kelly accompanied him to an audition, and the audition just to read the other sides of the dialogue. And then the casting agent liked him better and cast him. And right. As part of this flashback, he's looking through like a film book or some old movie magazine or something, and he wishes he was a better actor. Young Jay Kelly is like, I know I'm handsome and I'm charismatic. I don't feel like I'm as technically as good of an actor as I could be. And he takes a picture of young Marlon Brando out of this magazine. He rips out the picture of Marlon Brando and he eats it.
Great.
To gain his power. It's like when Francis Dollarhide eats the Red Dragon painting in Red Dragon.
Yeah. It's like, I must consume his power.
That's for a movie that otherwise, like, it's okay, didn't completely work for me. That is like such a standout moment. I'm like, what the hell was that? What's that doing in here?
Was that in the script, or did he just make that up on the spot? That's the stuff you want to know.
I don't think this young actor went to Noah Baumbach and is like, Noah, I've got a great idea. Give me an old film magazine. I'm gonna let me eat that. He must have written this down. It's such a bizarre thing to happen in a movie that is otherwise like not super bizarre.
Yeah. Cool. Well, on my side of things, first thing I want to show off is this edition of The Human Target. I have been waiting for so long for this edition. I'm super excited about this. They've had hardcover editions of this book, or of this comic book out, but it was in 2 volumes, and I was like, those look nice, but I want the one that's just, here's the whole collected story. So I've been waiting for this deluxe edition, and when I went to the comic book store with my dad right after Christmas,
that's so cute,
right? Yeah, this was on the shelf, and I was just like, oh my god, yes, happy Christmas to me. Right, amazing. And this is absolutely gorgeous. Melissa, the pages are pink, and like,
I love that.
Yeah, the like outside of the pages are pink. The art in this book is just absolutely stunning. Wonderful colors, all sorts of stuff, pinks and blues and yellows and magentas and cyans and all sorts of stuff. Let me take the dust cover off so you can see what it looks like on the inside without
that's
it.
Nice.
It is, yeah, it's
nice and it's ice.
Cyan blue. They have the title Human Target also in cyan, so it looks like it's on their shiny, right? And then, yeah, they have these snowflakes because the character Ice is a big part of this too. So it's absolutely incredible. I'm super excited that this finally came out and I was able to snag one because it looks incredible. But as I am putting this back away, I will do what I always do at the start of the year. I have some quick stats and numbers for how much I wasted my life last year. It was not actually a waste, but I keep track of how many movies I watched, how many TV shows, how many comic books I read, so on and so forth. I've done that for a handful of years now. This past year was the first year that I started to add how many like music albums I listened to. And for that one, I actually kept it in like a top 10 list and beyond. But I'll start up here with movies. In 2025, I watched a total of 77 movies. I already mentioned my like top 10 new ones of the year, but I have a few others that did not necessarily come out in 2025 that I really enjoyed, including A Better Man. This is the one of the British pop star. I always forget his name.
Robbie Williams. I also still have to see Better Man. That's on my list.
Yeah, except in the movie, he is a CGI monkey. That's the whole gimmick.
Good.
I had a blast with that one. The first thing that we watched on the review show last year, Sunshine, was a great film. I really enjoyed that. After that, you highly recommended a movie for myself and my partner. This was Hundreds of Beavers. That movie is incredible. I got that for Rachel for Christmas. She has the DVD of that. I love to own it. Yeah. Mulholland Drive, I thought was a fantastic one. That was my first time watching that. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. Then the French movie La Haine. I had heard good things. I watched that. That is a very Kyle movie. And then I also watched another foreign movie. This is an African one. I was on a kick of like, let me start watching some movies from different countries so that I can start to build out like a criterion collection of like, I have a movie from this country and a movie from that country and a movie from that country. So here's one from the continent of Africa. I forget exactly which country it is from specifically, but this movie is called This Is Not a Burial, This Is a Resurrection. And I saw a trailer for this and immediately was just like, oh, I need to watch that. That looks incredible. It has such vivid colors in it. It's beautiful. It's about a small village in Africa that is near a river, and the local government is trying to dam the river, and it will flood their village. So they are grappling with that of like, we've lived here for like thousands of years, and now you're asking us to move and stuff like that. And the kind of final 5 minutes of this movie was just haunting. It was really good.
I looked it up. It's from Lesotho.
Thank you. Lesotho. And then let's see here. Predator Killer of Killers. This was the animated one. I don't remember if this came out early in 2025 or late 2024. But that was the animated anthology one. I really enjoyed that one too. So
is this literally everything you watched last year?
No, those were just the like other ones that I watched that I really enjoyed of the 77 that I watched. So
excellent. Okay. How many movies did I watch? Last year I went to I don't track every single movie I see at home. I just track highlights, but I do track every time I go to the theater.
You mentioned 100.
I saw 75 new movies in the theater last year. That also includes things like the Taylor Swift release party of a showgirl, an event that's not necessarily a movie. And then I saw 24 old movies in the theaters in a repertory screening.
That's awesome.
But also there's some things that I saw twice. I needed to see Mission Impossible and F1 in like, I have to see it regular and then see it again in IMAX.
Yeah.
Gotta have the IMAX.
That's fun.
So yes, over 100 trips to the theater last year.
That's so awesome. For TV shows, this was a big TV show year for me. I've been trying to climb myself out of the, like, there's so many shows to watch. I want to watch all of them. So I watched 99 different series.
Wow.
Yeah, very close to 100. That's not to say that I completed all 99. Some of them, like, for example, Bob's Burgers, I only watched like a season or two, right? Stuff like that. Some I am still watching, so I haven't even finished them. But 99 different series. And then I like to tally up a rough estimate of how long that meant I spent watching stuff. I divide things up, most things into if it's an hour long or a half an hour. So it's not exact, right? The hour long stuff sometimes is like, these are 40-minute episodes, but sometimes it's also a Korean show where it's like, these are 110 minutes long. And so I feel like law of averages, things kind of average out. So roughly speaking, I watched for 1,262 and a half hours.
Wow.
Only on TV shows this past year. Let's see, a couple quick shout outs that I can do. Season 2 of Silo, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, Season 4 of Shoresy, Yellow Jackets Season 3, The Bear Season 4, Bloodhounds, which is a Korean show I liked a lot. I finally went back and watched Ripley on Netflix based on the talented Mr. Ripley. Paradise on Hulu Season 2, I think, is coming out in February or March or something like that. I'm super excited about that. Let's see. Department Q on Netflix. That was awesome. The Last of Us Season 2. Dan. Watch some anime in there. That one was a fantastic one. Peacemaker Season 2. And last but not least, Task on HBO Max. I really enjoyed that. So because I watched so much TV this year, I obviously did not get as many movies or comics. For comics, I read 38 different series, which totaled out to 354 issues.
Wow.
I think in the past I had almost reached 1,000 issues in 1 year or stuff like that. So this was like big dip in my comic book reading this year. Do I have any that I highlighted? The only one I highlighted as I really enjoyed it was The Terrifics. That was brand new to me. We covered that on the review show. I just thought that book was a lot of fun. Good, classic comic book action. For actual books, word books, I read 56 different books this year.
Wow.
Some of my favorites included Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Alter Ego by Alex Segura, The Legend of Galactic Heroes Volume 1 by Yoshiki Tanaka, The Black Dahlia by James Elroy, and then two books which are kind of a pair. They go hand in hand. It's A Psalm for the Wild Belt and A Prayer of the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. Some kind of really calm, really interesting sci-fi books about this monk that sells tea and this like robot companion that he makes, and them just like discussing life and stuff like that. They were fascinating. I loved them. Good stuff there. I read Wool by Hugh Howey, which is the book that Silo is based off of. That book was fantastic.
So instead of living in a silo, they lived in a sheep. There's a little Rebecca Ferguson inside a big sheep.
That's it. To be honest, don't really know why it was called Wool. Might have to go look up the Spark Notes on that one.
They got the wool pulled over their eyes. I haven't seen Silo
like that.
They live in a silo, and Rebecca Ferguson is like, why do we live in the silo? What's outside the silo? And the silo keepers are like, shh, Rebecca, don't ask. And she's like, I'm going to go look. Is that what that show is?
Vaguely, yes.
Okay.
And then last but not least, I think my favorite book that I read this year was called Say Nothing by Patrick Radden Keefe. Based on true stories, real events, all that stuff about some history in Northern Ireland and the history of the IRA and stuff like that. Kind of centering around this one murder and disappearance of this woman and her children that survived her, and stuff like that. Incredible book. I also watched the television series based on the book. It was all right. If you don't have as much time to like read the book, or you're more into TV, it's a good representation, but the book is by far better. Goes into so much more detail. Stuff like that. Last but not least, albums, music. I listened to 72 different albums this year. Yeah. I posted my top 10 on social media. I won't read them all out, but my top 3, I will say. No, I'll do my top 5. How about that? I'll do my top 5. Number 5 is Horizons / West by Thrice. They are one of my favorites. Number 4 was Carpe Diem Moon Man by Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. Incredible band name. Love the band name, but that album was a lot of fun. My number 3 was Let God Sort Them Out by Clips. That was a fantastic album. They got to perform in the Vatican this year. First rap show in the Vatican.
Neat.
Wild stuff. Yeah. And then my favorite rapper put out an album, which got my number 2, called I Heard It's a Mess Out There Too by Aesop Rock. And then my number 1 spot, my album of the year, was Never Enough by Turnstile. In fact, when I was out there visiting you and we went to that record store, I bought that album.
Cool.
So, yeah. But that's it. Those are my stats. How much I spent my life consuming media. All of that good stuff.
Somebody's got to. It's better to do it and to track it than to do it and not track it at all. You got to have something to show for yourself. I watch a lot of YouTube, and at the end of the year, I do make a playlist of my favorite YouTube videos of the year. Like, I need to structure this.
Fun.
I need to turn this into an end result somehow.
Yeah. Well, we got a couple quick things to kind of wrap up the show with. Do you want to do pop culture and then pull up a chair? Or do you want to pull up a chair first? Or
I already said yes, Kyle.
Cool. Let's do pop culture lightning round.
I understand what the 2 options are, and I agreed to the first option presented. No need to continue
you didn't know that I would give you
2.
option 2 where they're switched. I don't know, Melissa.
I also made a note on here about an extremely complicated streamer bundle. I'll tell you that story next time. That's kind of long.
Cool. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, Let's run through some of the pop culture that's happened since we last spoke, like nearly a month ago. Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday comes out later this year. Mm-hmm. We got our first teasers for it. One little 30-second teaser a week in front of Avatar, Fire, and Ash. A cool gimmick, something I haven't seen in quite a while, to change up the teaser week by week on a related tentpole. When I went, I got to see the Thor variant.
Ooh, cool. Okay. I did not go see the movie that these teasers were attached to, so I just had to wait for them to hit online, hit YouTube. I've seen the Thor one and the Captain America one. I have not seen the X-Men one yet. It's out there, but at this point, I'm also kind of just like, I know I'm excited. I want as much of this to be a surprise as I can be.
See, I am fascinated not just by the content of a movie, but everything that goes into it. Like, a marketing story is interesting to me. I am always curious about, how is this thing introduced to people? How is information parsed out? What information are you given, and when, and in what format? I think that stuff's really interesting. So I do watch all of the trailers because I like to study the strategy of what a trailer is and does.
I do have a quick question about the X-Men one. Something I noticed in the first 2 is that both the Thor and Captain America one center around children. And arguably you can say the X-Men are like Professor X's children, kind of, right? There's an argument to be made there. Does the X-Men one have some kind of theme around children?
It's funny you ask this. I watch a lot of New Rock Stars. You do as well. New Rock Stars, the YouTube channel, which features breakdowns and theory videos about a lot of this big pop culture superhero tentpole stuff. According to my YouTube Wrapped stats at the end of last year, I am in the top 2% of New Rock Stars viewers worldwide.
Heck yeah.
Because they do break down what's in the trailer and what the strategy might be and like why the trailers are presented, how they're presented, and when. And yes, Eric Voss does have a whole theory about how Dr. Doom may be out there nabbing kids. And that maybe when we
saw that in Fantastic Four too, right?
Right. When we see Cyclops fall to his knees and scream and tear his glasses off and shoot ruby quartz lasers at the sky, he may be screaming because somebody took one of his unseen children. The theme continues. It is there. It's there for real. He's just nabbing kids. I don't know. We had Gore the God Butcher do that already, but I guess he just went to New Asgard and is like, I'll take these New Asgardian children. And Dr. Doom's going to like a bunch of different universes and timelines, just like taking a kid. I don't know where the kids. We know very little. I look forward to learning more.
Yeah, it's an interesting theme, especially with like, oh, we're getting Chris Evans back as Captain America. How does that fit into everything, right? Even before all of this, there was the talk of like, well, will we get the new Avengers? And it's all the kids. It's Isaiah Bradley's grandson, and it's like we've seen some of these characters already, even though we haven't seen them suit up and stuff like that.
The ingredients are there for them to bake the cake of young Avengers.
Yeah, and that could go in a million different directions of like, and all the old heroes die, and so now the next Avengers is going to be up to all the kids.
Die.
Yeah,
it's Haley Steinfeld a lot on your shoulders. Get ready.
Yeah, indeed.
So I've watched all the Doomsday trailers that have been released, and I've watched recap videos for the ones that haven't been released, because they are only in theaters for a week, and then they go on YouTube. It's not a traditional release model. These teasers all feel so self-serious and so somber. And like that was something that irked me about Fantastic Four: The First Steps, that we are entering the movie at a time when the characters are like, we have this baby and this baby will change everything. And the whole movie is under this weight of taking care of the family and saving Earth. And there's a few little jokey bits, but that movie is not as much of a fun romp as I would have hoped it would have been.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be that way through the whole time, but there's very little fun setting the stage. This is the status quo before it's like the status quo has been changed and everything is different and much more serious now.
Which is just what comics do, right? The world will never be the same, and it's always the same stuff over and over and over again.
Right, but comics are also silly. And I wish that movie was sillier. Yeah. And that's something I did really like about the best corollary to Doomsday, Infinity War. Infinity War does have this sense of creeping dread, but has a lot of jokes in it, has a lot of banter. It's a little more fun and light on its feet.
I'm sure we'll still get that stuff.
I really hope we're not losing that.
Yeah.
I like when this is fun. It doesn't have to be super like sarcastic and quippy, but like I would rather have that than this is the worst terror I've ever known. God, can I protect the people I love?
I think they are, like, though, trying to capture or recapture the feeling of what you remember from Infinity War and Endgame, right? Yeah. This like very serious stuff, like heroes will die, worlds will die, crisis on infinite Earths kind of thing, right?
Yes, but also remember when Ant-Man had a taco and he dropped his taco? I want that too. I don't want that to disappear from this film landscape, please. Especially when, like, Secret Wars in particular has the potential to bring back a ton of different old faces, either the way we knew them or in a new format. And I don't want all of those to be so serious. Like, I want jokes. I want fun, goofy, smashing action figures stuff, you know, in Secret Wars. And I don't want a tonal whiplash if Doomsday is so serious. And then they do give us that stuff in Secret Wars of smashing the action figures together. So I'm like, I hope that the whole film is not as deathly serious as these teasers have been, is all I'm saying.
For sure. I agree. Let's see. Next up in pop culture. This is one that I have heard half of this. I have heard that Sebastian Stan has been cast in the Batman 2, or at the very least is in talks. I have not heard the Harvey Dent Two-Face stuff.
Yes, that has been confirmed. It's from like Variety or Hollywood Reporter. I forget exactly who, but it is a big name. Yes, Sebastian Stan to play Harvey Dent Two-Face in the Batman 2.
That's awesome.
Which I think is, I like this choice a lot. I think with the political and crime-based narrative of Matt Reeves as the Batman, to include that character seems like a very natural progression for the Batman 2. And I think Sebastian Stan is wonderful casting. I think he can play the slick lawyer. And we know from A Different Man that, and The Apprentice, I suppose, he takes a prosthetic well.
Yeah.
He's a guy who's really down to do anything. I really admire that about him. He's a little bit more quirky character actor who's going to take on quirky, challenging projects than he is like glossy movie star. I think he's exactly the mode to do this. I look forward to it.
Cool. Yeah. I think especially in the place where the Batman universe is, with like the big earthquake and Gotham flooded, in the wake of all of that, we know that there's going to be some power vacuum as more of these criminals and crime lords start like worming their way out, and Harvey Dent on the rise being like, nope, let's put you all in jail. Let's do all of that stuff. So should be fun. On the James Gunn side of the DC universe, we have casting for Brainiac in Man of Tomorrow. This is Lars Ettinger. I am not familiar with this guy.
I think most people aren't, and I think that was his strategy. Let's just find a really good actor. Who cares if you know him or not? And that's worked in the past. Like, we didn't know Chuck Iwuji before he was in Peacemaker, and then he was the villain of Guardians Volume 3. So he's found great actors in the past. I think Brainiac's gonna be fun to watch.
Sure is. And then Melissa, you sent me a trailer for a horror movie that really speaks to us, and
yes,
the Whatnauts, how the Whatnauts got started and everything like that. Talk to me about Undertone.
Undertone is a new indie horror movie from A24. It is about a podcaster who has like a true crime scary stories podcast and starts investigating these possibly haunted audio files.
It's literally like the exact same setup as the Black Tapes.
Right.
But what if instead of VHS tapes, they're just audio files?
Right. Remember the unsound? What if the Black Tapes was only ever about the unsound? This looks scary. I sent it to you and you said absolutely not.
Yeah. Nope. What's interesting to me about this is it describes itself as like what's the word they use? Like it's about sound and soundscapes. Yes. It's not necessarily what you see or what you don't see, but it's really focusing on how do we make this like an auditory horror movie. And I like that idea. I think that's an interesting challenge. But yeah, even just in the trailer, I was like, absolutely not. I am not watching that. Hell no.
I'm very much watching it. I'm excited for this. It does seem, except for the fact that you're a horror baby, it seems right up our alley. It is so the Black Tapes. It feels like it should be an audio fiction podcast, but it's just like they skipped that stage and went directly into making it a movie.
Yep. Absolutely. You will have to report
I'll be there
back once you have watched it. And last but not least, Melissa, Idris Elba is now Sir Idris Elba. He's been knighted.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Congratulations to Idris Elba for being knighted. That's fun. That's good. That's good. Mm-hmm. So that's our pop culture lightning round. Melissa, you have the idea for a new segment on the show, which we are calling Pull Up a Chair.
Audience, do you remember last spring when Marvel announced the cast for Doomsday in that 4-hour live stream of chairs? A thing that I watched all of via watching the New Rockstars live stream of it. I needed the running commentary.
2%.
This was an entire evening. I went to the gym. I took a shower. The whole time I'm listening to them talk about the chairs. This is fascinating. This is one of the strangest marketing attempts I've ever seen. I was really into it for the sheer novelty. These are going to, and they announced like 26 names, and I believe there's more to come. You know, they didn't name Chris Evans in those initial run of chairs, but Chris Evans is in it. There's more people, more characters who it seems like ought to be in it. Like Doctor Strange is probably in this. Captain Marvel's probably in this. So we're going to have more people introduced. And then Secret Wars, with the promise of going to some kind of battle world and having all of these different characters from different timelines and multiverses come together for a war that's secret. Right. And maybe I'd love to take bets on how many kisses will be in Secret Wars. We're going to do that. We're going to do the over-under on kisses.
Amazing. Amazing.
And that's what you win if you get it right, is the little Hershey chocolates in the wrapper with the little tag. You get a kiss. I'm going to write this down so we don't forget. Predict number of kisses in Secret Wars. There's going to be so many people, so many cameos. And I know this is a strategy that is burning a lot of people out, that they're tired of these movies just being a vehicle for cameos, the way a French fry is just a vehicle for ranch or ketchup. But I kind of have fun with it.
Okay.
You know,
sure.
You know, sometimes all you really want is the dipping sauce, and you're like, what can I dip in the sauce? A fry, a cheese curd, an onion ring, a fried pickle, whatever. Just get the sauce into me. I think there are people who view the MCU as similar. That it's just all like cameos and setup and teases, and it's a skeleton to support that.
Interesting. Okay.
I have fun with the whole thing. You and I, you know, we're pro Marvel people. Yep. Not all of them have hit for me, but the whole project is, even though it's been often imitated, it's never quite been duplicated. I find it a fascinating singular thing. And as somebody who has not historically been into sports, this became my sports, which is why I'm going to do bets and predictions. I'm going to go to DraftKings, and I'm like, I'd like to draft Gambit. And they're like, ma'am, that isn't how this works.
I think there will be 37 kisses in Secret Wars. Who wants these numbers?
Who will take my money? You and I, for the next 2 years, we are going to take predictions on people who will be in this pair of films, Doomsday / Secret Wars. We don't have to predict anybody who's going to be in a specific movie. It's just between these two, who's going to appear. If that person doesn't appear in Doomsday, all predictions roll over to Secret Wars automatically. Mm-hmm. And you can predict a character. You can just say Ghost Rider. I don't know what kind or who's playing it, but Ghost Rider. or you can predict a actor. Like, I think we're going to see Josh Brolin. Is he playing Cable? Is he playing Thanos? I don't know. I'm just going to say Josh Brolin. Or you could pull an unrelated actor. Like, I think they're going to get Glenn Powell, hot new star Glenn Powell, in to do something. I don't know what he's doing. You can say a specific pairing. You can say, I think we're going to see Sean Ashmore as Bobby Drake, Iceman. Exactly. Specifically. Name a character and or actor to appear in one of this pair of films. And we're going to do this every episode for the next approximate 2 years. Kyle, are you ready to begin?
I'm ready to begin.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, who do you have?
I have somebody who has appeared in the MCU before, essentially as a cameo. This is somebody with an extremely limited role, and it probably is not very much trouble to get them back into this pair of films, and all they need is 30 seconds, because 30 seconds is all we've gotten of this person to date. So, like, there's you don't need to increase the screen time. Nobody will feel cheated if this person doesn't get a lot of screen time. We just need to see him and point and be like, hey, it's him again. I'm drafting Zach Cherry.
Okay. Yeah.
Zach Cherry as seen in Spider-Man as the guy who says Spider-Man. And you see him recording the fight on the bus in Shang-Chi. He's really blown up since then. He's award nominated for Severance. I think they're going to get Zach Cherry. Maybe he'll have more of a role, or maybe he'll just continue to be that guy. The one civilian on Battleworld is Zach Cherry.
You know what I would love to see? The Avengers moment for a bunch of side characters like this. It's Zach Cherry, it's Bruce Campbell, it's all of these side characters as they get their like heroic walk down the thing. But that's it. That's all we see.
Right. It's the on your left,
the money shot,
the portal
for the
The portals open. Out comes all of our favorite heroes, and then Zach Cherry, and then JB Smoove. I would love, and like the audience would support it. I think the audience would love to see Madison
moment
and like Kingo's assistant from Eternals. They might not care about any of the Eternals, but if you brought out that guy, it's like that guy with the camera. I did like him.
Wirecast.
Kyle, who is your prediction?
Well, I had one that I was going to put. I've actually already mentioned their name. I'm trying to see if I can find someone else. I don't remember.
We're going to mention all of these names. You don't have to mention a completely brand new name. You can pull somebody we just said.
That's the thing. I don't remember the character's name, and I don't remember the actress's name.
All right, describe.
From the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, the neighbor who lives down the hall that has a crush on Peter.
Oh my
What's
God,
her name?
Ursula Ditkovich.
Ursula Ditkovich. Is that the actress's name?
Oh. No, that's the character's name because they're named after Steve Ditko.
Ursula. Let's see here. Yeah.
Ursula Ditkovich, who brings him the chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Yes,
I would love to see.
I agree. That
Ursula
is a character that would give us such a pop. The real heads know. The real heads know Ursula Ditkovich. I'd love if we go over to the Tobey Maguire universe and they're still neighbors and like their kids play together and they still talk. That would be so heartwarming. She is the most heroic civilian in the small way of not having superpowers or saving the world, but just doing a nice thing for somebody. I'd love to make a list of top 10 times in a superhero movie a person just did something nice that was not capital H heroic. Ursula Ditkovich, number one.
Yeah. So I'm putting her name on first. Ursula Ditkovich. Would love a cameo by her.
Oh my gosh, I'm right. Yes.
Who's that actress's name? That's what I need to see. Does it say on the wiki? portrayed by Majina Tova, I believe is how you say their name.
Cool.
Majina Tova.
Good pick.
Interesting. Let me see. I need to see what else they've been in. They have an IMDb.
What if she's retired and only comes back for this? And she's like, how much money will you give me? How many royalties will I accrue from appearing in Secret Wars?
Right. Yeah. She was in the Joan of Arcadia television series, Spider-Man 2 and 3, and she played the head librarian in The Magicians. And then it looks like she has a bunch of like guest TV roles that includes Buffy, 6 Feet Under, The Shield, Cold Case, Shameless, American Horror Story.
She made the rounds.
Yeah. Roles in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, stuff like that. I would love to see her back. Anyways, that is Pull Up a Chair for this week. Are we doing this on every single episode or every like regular, like every other week episode?
Every regular episode, or, you know, if we're shocked about a new development and we do a last minute episode,
yeah.
we don't have to do it there. Every standard episode, because we're doing it for 2 years. We are each going to wind up predicting like 50 people.
Yeah, and then we'll see how much we get right in each of them, right? So should be a lot of fun. But I think that's all we got for this first episode of the Whatnauts. This has been a blast. I think this was
good to be back.
Fun one for sure. Good to be back indeed. I'm gonna do our standard outro that we've done in the past. We might change the outro down the road. Who knows? But let's wrap things up right there. Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
I'm not a social media person. Instead, I set up an email inbox. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, you want to talk about Ursula Ditkovich, you can email me at yourhostmelissa@gmail.com.
Perfect. And if you guys want to follow me, I am at Yo Kyle Springer on most social media places. If you want to stay up to date with everything that we do here at The Whatnauts, we are at thewhatnauts.com on Blue Sky and at The Whatnauts official on Threads. So please go like, share, and subscribe. We got more YouTube videos right over there for you to check out. That would also help out a ton. And yeah, this has been the first episode of The Whatnauts. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.